February 14th arrived quietly, without snow or drama, just cold air and early darkness pressing against the windows. She spent the day pretending it was ordinary work, messages, errands. But the thought of the evening stayed with her, steady and warm. When she got home, the apartment was already different. Lights dimmed. Candles placed carefully, not perfectly. Music low enough to feel, not hear. He cooked, not because he was the better cook, but because he wanted to. The kitchen smelled like garlic, wine, and something sweet baking slowly in the oven. She watched him from the doorway for a moment, noticing how focused he looked, sleeves rolled up, moving with calm confidence. It felt intimate in a way that had nothing to do with touch. They sat down later, plates warm, glasses filled. No phones. No rush. Just the quiet understanding that this night didn't need witnesses. They talked about small things first. How strange it was that a date on the calendar could carry so much expectation. How easy it is to forget to celebrate ordinary love. Then the conversation softened, turning toward memories, toward what had changed between them over time. He reached for her hand across the table without thinking. She squeezed it back, smiling. Candlelight reflected in her eyes, and for a moment, the rest of the world felt far away. Dessert waited, but neither of them rushed. They lingered, letting the evening stretch, letting closeness settle naturally. Later, they moved to the couch, still wrapped in the warmth of the meal and each other. The city outside continued as usual, unaware of how complete the moment felt. There were no grand declarations, no dramatic promises. Just presence. Just choice. Valentine's Day passed like that. Not loud, not perfect, but deeply personal. Because the most romantic dinners aren't about what's served or how it looks. They're about who you sit across from, and how fully you're willing to be there when everything else fades into the background. The glow of the evening didn't fade when they left the table. Instead, it followed them softly, like a warm echo that lingered in the quiet apartment. They carried their glasses to the living room, and he draped a blanket over them both, half for warmth, half because he liked the way she curled into his side when he did. They talked more freely now, the way people do when the world feels small and safe. She told him about the first moment she ever realized she liked him. Not when they kissed, not when they started dating, but long before that, when he did something small and thoughtful that he didn't even remember. He laughed, embarrassed, but his eyes softened. He admitted that he had planned tonight for weeks, even though he pretended he hadn't. He wanted it to feel effortless for her, even if it meant effort for him. She leaned her head on his shoulder, touched by the confession more than she expected. Eventually they played music, slow songs, nostalgic songs, ones that pulled old feelings to the surface. He held out his hand, and she accepted without hesitation. They danced right there, between the couch and the table, swaying more than dancing, moving without rhythm or destination. Just feeling. Just breathing in the same moment. When the song ended, they didn't step apart. Instead, their foreheads touched, and the silence between them felt like its own kind of conversation. He kissed her, gentle at first, then deeper when she pulled him closer. The kind of kiss that didn't rush, didn't need to. The kind that said everything they'd talked around all night. The candles burned lower. The music shifted. The night stretched into something warm and private. They didn't need dramatic gestures. They didn't need perfect lines. They only needed the honesty that came with being fully seen and still chosen. As they fell asleep together later, wrapped in the same blanket, she thought about how love rarely arrives all at once. It grows in tiny moments, shared meals, quiet confessions, laughter in dim lighting, hands reaching across a table. And sometimes, on a simple February night, you finally realize you're exactly where you're meant to be.